Sometimes I already have an idea for these cold opens. Other times I just sit here like, hello? This is one of those times. Hello! Fans! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha. And how are ya? I hope you're doing good today. I hope you're having a good week, a good day, a good night, a good afternoon, a good whatever time it is that you are watching this, me. Then I hope you're having a good one. And I've got a Stitch and Scream update. I've been twiddling along here with my yarn and my hooks and all that stuff, and I wanted to show you what I've got. I actually have two things to show you today for the Stitch and Scream, and we're just gonna get right into it. So grab a drink and let's just jump in. So like I've showed you before, my project bag for the Stitch and Scream is here on my lap. Let me pull all my thingamadoos out of here because not only do I have April Square to show you, but I also have a redo on a previous one. So let me separate them here, but look, okay? So we are on month 4, April, month 4. So we've got 4 squares, right? And these two are January and February, right? These, we are good. I have shown you guys those many times. The ones that I'm going to show you today are, even though I was completely convinced that I had it right way up last time, I remembered to put a stitch marker in the top corner of my square so that I would know exactly which way to hold it up to you. But this is April Square, and it's black, and it's like a void, and I don't know that you are ever going to see any part of it, but I will try. I'm going to try. Can you see it? You can see me. Yeah, you can kind of see it. The texture on this month's stitch was awesome. It's the Silt stitch, which was very similar to the lemon peel stitch. Like double crochet, single crochet, back and forth. Except instead of alternating them, you do double crochets in the double crochet and single crochets in the single crochets. And so it makes like a pattern almost, and it's very, very textured. It feels really good. Even though this is just good old Red Heart Super Saver and black. I think this was an Ogo and a half, I think. But it feels really nice despite the fact that it's not like the most luxurious of yarns, right? I loved it. I love this stitch a lot, and I just flew through it. It is quite a big square, and I worked it really quite quickly. I was very surprised at myself, but I really enjoyed this stitch, and so that kind of made it super easy to fly through it. So that's April, and I did want to show you guys because this was March, right? With the Universal Spirit Stripes. Was it Touchdown was the color? I can't remember the color name, but it was obviously it's the variegated yarn. This was the, what was this stitch called? The grit stitch, right? I think. Gosh, I hope so. I think it was the grit stitch. If not, I will correct myself somewhere here on the screen. But this stitch, the first time I made it, the square was kind of like accordioned, is the only way that I can really describe it. It just sort of like sucked itself in and made itself really narrow to the point where I had to stretch it quite a bit width-wise so it fit the same width as all my other squares, which was a little confusing. I didn't do anything new with March's stitch. I didn't do anything different. I followed the pattern as it was, so on and so forth. I just think maybe the stitch itself is prone to sort of stretching inward instead of like bowing outward. And so I redid it, and I like it a lot better. It looks almost exactly the same though, except down here, like, how stinking cool is that? This is like planned pooling. Like, it looks like plaid. So cool. And then you can kind of tell where I started a new ball of yarn and just sort of lost the cool effect down here, right? It looks like plaid or like gingham, something like that. It just, this yarn is so cool for that. I would almost guarantee that this would work for planned pooling if you knew more about planned pooling than I know about planned pooling, right? But I redid this one, and I did it looser. I held my yarn and my hook looser, and I did use... Are you it? Yes, I did use this beautiful baby. The new Borealis Galaxy Furls hook. I was using my Pisces hook. I could not say no to using this beautiful baby. She is just gorgeous on a whole other level. This purple and green is chef's kiss. It's wonderful. And so I really liked using it with the black and with this yarn. And like I said, I didn't do really anything different except I held this looser. I had looser tension, looser with the yarn, and it worked up better. I can even show you maybe that it lines up in size better than it did previously before I frogged it, right? Like, they're almost the same size. If I actually held them properly here, you would maybe be able to tell. They are pretty much the same size now, and they are also the same size as my other squares. And mine are indeed a few inches bigger than Kayla's actual like pattern requires. Not requires, suggests. The way their tension and their yarn works up in dimensions is a bit smaller than mine. So mine are like 25, 26 by 26 squares. But they are all the same size now, for which I am very, very happy. These are going to look so awesome. And I think I have an idea for them. So my bed, which is in this room that I'm in, I'm looking directly at it right over there. My bed, I've had the same bedding, the same comforter, the same sheet sets and all that stuff since I moved in here. And it's showing a little wear and tear now that it's been a few years, right? So I was thinking of getting like a new comforter, some brand new sheets, and using this as my color scheme idea. So having this specifically for my bed, this blanket when it is done, putting it specifically on my bed. So black and red, black, gray and red, black, white, gray and red, something like that. Some kind of spooky, gothy, Halloween-y, vampire-y, because these colors, I mean, black and red always makes me think of vampires, you know? Some sort of theme like that on a blanket, on a comforter, and then using this with it and just leaning into the red and black theme. I also have some ideas for other yarns that I want to use with this. I do still have a lot of the cherry, a lot of the gray, and a lot of the black. I don't have much of the variegated left. I have, I think, 2.5 balls or so, or maybe 3. I used half of it, so 2.5 balls of yarn left. So maybe I have enough to do one more square. I also have like a red tweed kind of yarn that might match this. It's darker and it's got black in it, so this, I mean, it would match, but it's darker than this cherry. And I also have a black and white variegated yarn that might look fun with this too. And if I add those two in, then I'll have essentially 6 different colored squares. These 4, and then the black and white makes 5, and then the red tweed, the dark red tweed makes 6. And so I would have the first 6 months in 6 different colors, and then the last 6 months in 6 different colors. I'm still pondering that. I also don't know when we're going to hit one of these months where Kayla is going to suggest we use 2 different colors. And so I could mix the red tweed or the black and white in with one of these other colors too. I don't know. But I think at the very least my plan is for this to be my new bed blanket. To get myself a fancy, fun, spooky new comforter, use this. Because when this is done, it's going to be December, right? It's going to be the end of the year. It's going to be cool, cold even, as opposed to now, which even though we are only about halfway through April, it has been hot in Pittsburgh. If you can't tell, I'm a little shiny today because it is warm. It has been warm, like unseasonably warm even. So thinking about blankets and, new comforters isn't exactly at the forefront of my mind. But when this is done, it certainly will be, because I will be frozen solid again in winter. And I think it's going to look awesome. So no matter what I do, really, nose itchy. Just as an aside, my nose ring and my earrings have healed, like, completely. But they're still itchy, especially my nose ring. I'm like, people are probably always like, why is that weird goth girl picking her nose? I'm not. I'm just itching. Itching my nose ring. Why? Why did I get on that tangent, and why did I feel the need to share that? Who knows? It's just the way my brain works. But I think I was saying that currently, it's not something I want to think about as a new blanket and bed set and all that stuff. But when this is done, when I've got all 12 of these done, I probably will. So, I mean, look at that together. I love these colors together. And I think they'll look awesome on my bed. And this blanket is indeed going to be big enough to go across my whole full-size bed. I'm almost certain. And if it doesn't, I will make it so. And yeah, I think that's it. Before I start babbling about other such nonsense, I am just going to let you go. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed, leave me a thumbs up and leave me a comment as well. If you're joining in on the Stitch and Scream, did you watch this month's movie? I think it's Halloween Town. I like never am able to join Kayla's lives. It's always during my work hours, which sucks. Let me just say. But I usually watch the movie anyway. So Halloween Town, I'm thinking it's on Disney Plus, probably. I will watch it. I haven't yet. But are you joining in? Are you watching the movie? What colors are you doing? Leave me a comment and let me know. Let's discuss some Stitch and Scream things. And also, don't forget to subscribe today as well, because I do more than just the Stitch and Scream. So if you don't want to miss out, please subscribe. And until I've got something else, until I've got another video for you, I am just going to let you go now that I have babbled your head off and my own head off. Take care. Goodbye.